Caroline Foster. I'm from Portland Public Schools.
And what do you do there?
I'm a 6th and 7th grade social studies teacher, and I'm also the PEA RA rep. Portland Education Association Representative Assembly, representative from Moore, my middle school.
Ah, cool.
Yes.
I think about teaching middle school. So I'm in high school now. I teach high school now.
I love teaching middle school.
I think in the middle school, there's still a little bit of that innocence, right?
There is 6th grade. They come as babies. They leave as brats. But they're great. It's a great age.
I'm thinking about it. And I like my high school students. It's just there's a lot of language. There's a lot of issues.
Yeah.
A lot of the, and I'm sure the hormones are kicking in.
They definitely do. 7th grade, it kind of starts, but they're still very open-minded, so it's fun to teach kids.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for helping us.
Of course.
The idea is we're trying to make this more effective. We're trying to figure out how to do that. And
Okay.
what works for people.
Yeah.
And so the first question I want to ask you is, really what's helpful about Turn for you and or your team?
I will speak to that individually first,
Sure.
because I came here, I may have been the only representative at my school. Either way, I have left Turn meetings excited to go back into the classroom, which is kind of weird. Not that weird, actually. I really like teaching, but I'm excited to try different things. Common Core is a big piece of that. I started a Common Core report card because of coming from Turn and seeing people who are really passionate about it and seeing it working. So I kind of like the way that I can stay on top of sort of national trends and where education is going, and being able to come back and collaborate with some of my team members with stuff that I'm taking from here that will directly impact my students positively.
So like Common Core strategies and things like that?
Yeah, I revamped I write my own curriculum because I teach social studies and people tend to not care what I do. So I get to experiment a lot, and I rewrote my entire curriculum to Common Core assessments and making sure that kids were where they were supposed to be. It's the first set of standards that I've had that I feel comfortable with. They work and they're useful and they really will help make kids successful.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, so I'm sold.
And that's good. How long have you been doing your own curriculum?
As long as I've
You've been
been
teaching?
teaching. It didn't go over very well in my first job, but at my school now it's great.
That's awesome that you do that curriculum.
Yeah,
That's really
it is awesome, yeah.
It's, do you see any ways in which you could deepen or intensify that trend, that things
I wish I could get more colleagues here. There was a speaker, I want to say it was Turn, I'm not sure. It was last spring, and I remember walking out of there and thinking, I wish she could come talk to my whole staff, because it changes the way you think about certain things. Even just being this morning, and I might listen and some things don't really directly apply to me, but 5 minutes worth of conversation will put me on a whole different path of thinking. And I think that's really good for people, just to get a different perspective, or get a perspective from a similar, Winooski, for example, this morning, when they were talking about the diversity of their school, I had no idea. And it's nice to sort of make those connections. So when I'm thinking about how do I engage parents with this sort of diversity and language barriers and homelessness barriers, stuff like that, I can talk. You guys go through the same thing. Do you have any ideas? Because I have your email address from my Turn folder. So that's really helpful too.
Awesome.
I don't think that was your question.
No, those are fantastic. What your answer was even better than my question.
Oh, good.
So,
Okay.
do you think it's helpful to work on specific things or strategies like Common Core strategy or models and implementation, or do you think it might be more helpful to work on labor management strategies?
I think that depends on your district. Where I am right now, I'm really comfortable working with Common Core. But at a previous district, I would have said my first priority would be labor management, so we could make some decisions that would better impact the classroom.
Do you think that are you able to say that now because the labor management relationships where you're working now are better?
I'm able to say that now because Kathleen is really good at what she does.
Okay.
And I think it takes a lot of pressure off the staff throughout the district because she has relationships with management. And she's pushing for teachers to have voice and be on teams and have a say in evaluation and all these other, whatever we're doing, whatever we happen to be doing, initiatives. But if she weren't there, I'm not sure I would say the same thing. So I guess if you have strong labor management or strong people at the top working on that, as a teacher, I feel more passionately about what I can do in my classroom when I go back on Monday. But when I was working in Charleston, where there was no union, and there were huge gaps between the work level where the teachers were and the decision-making level, I would say something completely different because that would help kids more.